Gather round, friends, new and old, and welcome to the POWWOW podcast. I am one of your hosts, Philip.
And I'm the other host, David. And we are sitting here with an in-studio guest at the moment. And
Yes, we are.
This is my friend, Leon, and he's going to be joining us for pretty much the majority of this episode.
Welcome to the podcast, Leon.
Thank you very much.
Leon and I have known each other for 59 years. I'm sorry. Did I say 59 years? I mean 59 days. I did do the math. But we get along so well. We've gotten to the point of completing each other's
sandwiches.
Exactly. Well, unless they're not vegan, because Leon here is vegan.
Indeed.
But Leon, you're joining us. This is our third week of Christmas. Just so you know, we do our 4 weeks of Christmas leading up to the holiday, and we are now in our third week. We've discussed Christmas shopping. We've discussed Christmas entertainment. We talked for a moment about the Polar Express, which Leon and I are doing together, and now we're going to be talking. Well, we'll get to that in a second. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I have a little bit of a headache, bit of a sore throat, bit of a chesty cough, but I'm here and I'm ready to do whatever it is we do here. This is my first time on a podcast, so hello, everyone.
Oh, look at that. We're popping the hot cocoa.
Popping cherries.
Yeah, well, I know. I didn't want to go there, but we're popping the hot cocoa, making sure it's all fresh and new. Leon, I would say normally it would be irresponsible of you to try and get somebody else in your cast sick, but the simple truth is you guys are spending 6 days a week business-wise together in a very small space. So if you're suffering, chances are you guys are going to get it beyond this. So it doesn't necessarily...
we've probably shared several viruses already, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually one of the very last ones to get ill. Everyone's been ill, and everyone is still ill.
Yeah.
So, I'm just catching up.
As far as I know, I'm on the up. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll be back down low. But... yeah, powering through. You know what? I thought this was brilliant, and it hasn't really caught on as much as I'd hoped. So you always get these nicknames for viruses when they go around when you're at an event or something. Like, for example, in The Hague, which is where I went to school, there was an MUN, a Model United Nations event, and obviously because it took place in The Hague, when everyone got sick, they called it Hague Plague, which rhymes, which is great. Now, our polar event is in a town called Tunbridge Wells in the UK. So I thought the plague that's going around should be called the Tunbridge Unwells.
Oh, yeah, I'm just remembering that you made that up, actually. That's proper caught on, everyone's saying that.
Well, I feel like I'm the only one who uses it, which is irritating. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad that a few people have caught on. Okay. Well, anyway, so that's what we're dealing with right now, but we're having a great time doing it. So... Philip, we're talking about so much about ourselves. How are you? How's the Christmas season ramping up for you?
You know, it's rainy over here, believe it or not, because it's still warm enough that whenever it rains over here, it actually still rains. It doesn't snow. So last night we were treated to the wonderful sight of our baby Jesus in the frontwards thing, nearly floating away with all the wind and the rain, and Mary got soaked. Joseph is somewhere falling down in the ground and getting wet and wild and the dirty, and it's a mess because of the rain. But I myself, besides the odd occasional cold spell, am doing fine. I'm doing, knock on wood, not being sick or anything. So let's keep that at arm's length, but within arm's reach. Guys, let's get to our main topic and grab some din din.
So we agreed to talk about Christmas food here. And we have Leon on as a guest, and he's going to offer his vegan perspective on everything. But I messaged Philip earlier today. I was like, but what is the point, and what are the listeners going to be getting out of this topic? So, Philip, what did we come up with there?
We decided, and Leon, you're going to be playing a major part, probably influencing each of us here. We came up with the idea that of all the food talked about here on this episode, which we would hope would be organic and just talking and creating a conversation along with you, Leon, helping chime in there, we will be giving and gifting each other and our families the task of making one dish, one side item, whatever it is, one thing for our respective family holiday dinners, that we will have to make that ourselves and present it to our family. Hopefully no food poisoning, but it will be a task unto us. It can be something as simple as, oh, I don't know, mashed potatoes, which even that sounds daunting.
I think it seems a little simple. Mashed potatoes, maybe for you, I'd say.
Yeah, I was going to say, speak for yourself.
Because the other thing that came to my mind when you suggested this was, oh my goodness, I'm going to be taking culinary suggestions from Philip Amorine.
Hey, I might make you make chestnuts roasting over an open fire. It could be something as simple as that, which I hear that they pop. I feel like that's not healthy for the nut or the people eating it. But that being said, Leon, I hope you're up to the task of helping us each select a cuisine from each of us that we can each try and make for our families. And again, hopefully nobody yaks up the yams or whatever it is that we'll be making this holiday season. Are you up to the task, Leon?
I see. So I'm going to suggest something that you guys are then going to make.
Well, we're going to, well, hopefully it'll come up organically in some way,
Yes.
but we've got a few discussion points, food related, Christmas food related. He's up for anything. Shall we begin?
We shall. First of all, gentlemen,
All right.
what on that Christmas feast do you always reach for? Whenever it's presented, the whole spread is there. We've got the side of meats. We got the side of sweets. We got the side of hors d'oeuvres. We got the side of appetizers. Whatever it is, the entire spread. What do you always reach for first, Leon? What is the first thing you reach for?
Ooh, that is a tough one. Do you know what, actually? What I love a good roast potato. I do. Or parsnips.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and fluffy.
Parsnips are good too.
Yeah, like honey roasted parsnips. It's actually really hard to pick. I love absolutely everything about a roast dinner. The stuffing, that's incredible. Love stuffing. But I would probably have to go, if I had to pick, with roast potatoes. Those are just
potatoes are good. They're a home meal, home cooked element meal to it. I would agree. David, where are you going?
So for me, I think I'm sitting next to my vegan friend. I hate to say it, but it's usually the meat. It's usually the duck or the goose or whatever is roast on the.
I can understand that.
Yeah, for the Christmas lunch or dinner or whatever it is. We do a goose, as I'm sure I said last year. We do a goose and it's fantastic. I'm a dark meat guy. I like a leg, but also I love a roast potato. Also, there's these German dumpling things. There's these like round balls of potato, and they're like these stodgy, delicious potato dumplings. Those I usually have a bit of meat, and then I'll just stuff my face with those things covered in gravy and whatnot. But I'm just gonna go with the meat. I will reach for the goose. What about you, Philip?
Showing my true American colors here, guys. For my thing that I always reach for, it's a staple. Because I allow myself on the holidays to cheat a little, as everybody should, be a little happy, be a little merry. I'm going with macaroni and cheese, which it doesn't sound like is on either of your guys' spread or feasts, but I assure you.
It has never been, no.
Yeah, I assure you it's a staple over here. At least I would even venture to say as far as Arizona, but macaroni and cheese, whoo doggy, it is so good. I will definitely cheat every time I see that. Let's go to our next one on the opposite end of the spectrum, guys. So, please.
Yeah, what do you never reach for? What is the thing that's on the spread, Leon, that you never reach for?
Never.
Yeah, okay. You just it's part of the spread, food. And it's like I could do
Leon,
without.
Yeah, if you're too full, if you're like I've filled up with everything else, if I don't eat
have you
this,
yeah, there was this buffet at the Greek wedding I went to at the beginning of the summer where everything looked good. So I was literally spooning on a tiny bit of everything. Yeah. But it was still far too much for me to actually eat. So I had to leave some stuff behind. There was some certain things I was like, well, if I'm going to leave something behind, I'm not going to eat that. I'm much more excited about this stuff.
Going off of that kind of example, because I'm the same. I like absolutely everything. But yeah, if you get to that point where you've had quite a lot and you know that you can only really have a few more bites left, the thing that I'm going to leave are probably going to be the Brussels sprouts.
I don't blame you. Stocky greens are never a favorite of mine.
Philip?
And going along that line, I'm going to hopefully not insult my grandmother, but it is something that she always brings. Guys, I went on one end of the spectrum for cheese, for macaroni and cheese. On the other end of it, she makes this, I want to say, homemade cheese log every year. To even say what it fully consists of is a mystery to me. I believe it's some form of cream cheese wrapped up in nuts and some seasonings. I mean,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's like a cheese log, and and people you slice into it, and you put a little bit on a cracker, an assortment of crackers, and it's apparently quite delicious. But I must say, the appearance of it is absolutely revolting in my mind. If you don't like what it is, it just doesn't look well. It's like almost like a slight little pinkish hue to it, with nuts wrapped around it, and it doesn't look good, even though I'm assured that it tastes divine. This is not to insult my grandmother. Just for me, it never appealed to my eyes, so therefore I would never eat it. David, what do you touch last?
I don't think that this is part of most people's Christmas spreads, but it often, when we do roasts, it ends up on our table is beets or beetroot, depending on what you call it. But yeah, I just don't. Whether it's roast or like, I mean, you hear some people are like, oh yeah, I don't like beets, but when it's done like this, I'm like, no, I don't like beets ever.
No matter how
They're
it's
just
prepared.
not good. No, I will leave those behind. Yeah. All right. So next up we have, what is something you're always worried will run out and you won't get to have second helpings of, or something like that?
You know what? What stuck in my head immediately, this is going back to before I was vegan, was the pigs in blankets. I would always worry that they're
I tell you what,
missing.
on the Polar Express, I ask people what their favorite Christmas food is, and almost everybody says pigs in blankets.
Yeah, man. It's great.
It's a great little just pick me up. It takes the curve off whenever you're smelling all the great foods. You just grab it. It kind of consists of something light, soft, but yet it has a little pop to it, and it just makes sure that you're fulfilled before you get fully like grossly overstuffed. It's quite
before
delightful.
Uncle Teddy eats them all.
Yes, that's true. Finger food, one for each finger. Absolutely, Uncle Teddy. David, for me, something I'm always worried will run out are whatever variation that everybody has of bread. For us, it's rolls, and it's like the warmed up rolls. You put them in the oven. And so there's only a limited amount because you can only put so many in the oven. And I guess at some point, there's probably a loaf of bread in the house, right? So you can technically get like slices of bread, but it's not the same. You have that, you put some butter on it, and at a time the warmth will run out, or you're worried that the rest of the food will make it so that way you can't eat any more of the rolls. So usually there's only 8, and everybody's like allotted maybe 1, maybe 2, depending on if a kid snuck another one in there. Oh my gosh, I love bread. I love rolls.
Sounds
I
stressful.
have some rolls myself. It is. It's a war. Holiday means war, David. What are you worried runs out, David?
Honestly, now that you say that, my mom's sourdough bread is definitely up there. I absolutely adore my mom's sourdough bread, and it goes quickly once someone starts cutting into it. And there's certain members of my family, my brother-in-law and my dad and my brother, I guess, all really like thick cut like slices of it. So it goes quickly. But what I was going to say was the gravy. I'm worried that there just won't be enough gravy to cover all my food in.
That's a good one, actually.
That is a good choice.
I do like to cover my food in gravy. Like
speaking... Yeah, absolutely. It's delicious accompaniment. Speaking of Christmas beverages, let's go to some other types of Christmas beverages, as if gravy were a Christmas beverage on its own. Guys, what is the Christmas beverage of your choice? Of course, I think amongst everybody, the first thought would be eggnog, but we don't have to go there. David, what would be your first Christmas beverage?
My question is there vegan eggnog? Can you get vegan eggnog?
They made coconut milk in one. I saw that in the stores this year. I saw coconut milk. I haven't felt bold enough to try it.
There seems to be vegan everything. There probably is vegan eggnog. In fact, what my favorite thing is now would be Baileys, and there is a vegan Baileys. M&S do a vegan Baileys. I don't know.
Is it, so it's not from the brand. It's not from the brand.
Oh
Baileys,
no, that's true. No, yeah, it's
but
not.
it is. It's like
But
a cream,
basically,
a cream
Being an
liqueur,
alternative.
right?
Yeah,
but
indeed.
it's
called
nice.
coconut
Okay.
chocolate or something like that.
And David,
Sounds
what
good,
about
yeah.
you?
I mean, we started a couple years ago when I came back from the U.S. When I moved back from the U.S., started making eggnog every year. We did it at Thanksgiving.
You
And
home
then
make
we
it.
would do it. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
we got a
wow.
great recipe now. We tried a few recipes and we're now like we got it down pat. Because I remember buying this eggnog at Trader Joe's, and it was so good. And when I came home, we couldn't find it. They just didn't have it anywhere, anything like that. So we thought, well, let's make it ourselves, and it's fantastic. It's just so good. I love eggnog. I love that the cinnamony spiciness. You put whatever you want in it. We do traditionally. I think it's supposed to be done with cognac or I don't know, but we do it with spiced rum, and that works perfectly. It works so well. But I do have to say that there's a close second would be a mulled wine, and I know
Yeah, I was
you're
gonna
with
say
me
the
there.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, with eggnog, isn't it egg whites? Is that how you make eggnog, with egg whites, or do you use the?
Yes.
Because if so, because I'm pretty sure when I was doing one of my events, they was making fresh eggnog there, and they was just using egg whites. And one of the other guys mentioned that you can make a vegan version by using, like what I was saying to you before, the
With
chickpea water.
Yeah, chickpea water. Yeah. I suppose so.
Oh.
Yeah, because we don't use the yolks. I don't think so. I'm struggling to remember now. We have the recipe written down somewhere. I just don't remember.
Yeah, mulled wine popped in my head first,
Yeah.
but then I remembered the whole Baileys type thing. Love Baileys.
So we got Baileys. We got
What about you,
eggnog.
Philip? You don't
Yeah.
drink alcohol, so
I don't drink alcohol, though I do like the base of eggnog. It is nice. It's just, as a person who really does enjoy, whenever I do drink, to drink in massive quantities of it, eggnog, the problem becomes twofold. You get too full, and it's just so rich that if you just keep on drinking it, it doesn't fully satisfy you. There's a reason why it only comes around once a year, like the McRib. So for me, what I would choose,
I could have eggnog all year round. Honestly,
oh, wow. Well,
I
there we go.
don't. I don't. It just somehow
You don't
like
indulge.
slips my mind. It's like, oh, we could make it all year round, but we're not going to go through that effort.
Yes, I would choose something of my past, just like Leon chooses pigs in a blanket from a time before. I would choose a drink from my distant past here too that I don't drink anymore, but sparkling apple cider. David, you should have seen this one coming. That
Yes, that does make sense.
That does qualify as a holiday drink. You can use it, and gosh, oh, it's just so good. It's so good, and it does. I would argue brings a little zest to your holiday. You're just drinking it. You feel refined. It adds
Like
a
a
little bubbly.
freshness.
Yes. It feels
Yeah.
refreshing. It spritzes you up. So I would go with that. That's my personal drink of choice. All right, Leon and David, we have to start now. We are deciding right now what side dishes, preferably something that we've mentioned here already, although we haven't really gone too far out of the way. But Leon, let's you and me put our heads together. What is a holiday dish that we can challenge David to make that would be something of a boon to his holiday feast? And if I may, I have one suggestion. Maybe you want to go a different way here, Leon. So let me see if this works for you. Should we say something as adventurous that I don't think David has probably ever had, but should we say something as adventurous as like yams?
Have you ever had yams?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Have-
yams are
you never
basically
made them.
like. No, I've never made yams. No, yams are basically like butternut or pumpkin. Like they're in that family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had them. But
I don't
are
know
you
too
talking
much
about like
about
candied yams, the ones that have like the marshmallow and stuff?
Yeah, why not?
Well, my mom will hate it. My mom hates things that are like too sweet.
Well, do you guys normally have like a set dessert or dessert dish with your entire feast?
Sometimes, well, the talk right now is that my my mom and my sister want to try their hands at doing creme brulee, with
Ooh,
with the
so-
blowtorch and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Do you-
that's
do
the
you think it would
plan for this year.
clash? Do you think it would clash?
I don't think it matters really. I mean, if I'm going to make it, then no harm,
Leon, would you agree, or did you have an idea yourself?
Well, the only thing I was thinking of would be
Mm-hmm.
the vegan alternative for like whatever meat you was going to have. Which me and my girlfriend, we do jackfruit.
This is good because we haven't really touched on the vegan alternatives much. Having you here was kind of the whole, the intrigue of having you on.
Pigs and blankets instead.
Yeah. All right.
So Leon, let's go there.
Please go on.
Yeah, no. Well, we've done this a couple of times now. We just boil the jackfruit for about 10 minutes and then season it with all I think it's like thyme, rosemary, and basil. Well, I know you say basil. Basil.
I don't. I say basil normally, unless I'm talking about a gin basil smash.
Right.
Which is a cocktail.
That sounds a lot better.
It's a cocktail that you can't say gin basil smash. It just doesn't sound right for some reason. But I've always in my life, pretty much always at least, unless I'm trying to blend in America, I will say basil.
I don't know. That's like the most interesting thing that I think I would suggest, but. It would probably.
What fruit was it again?
It's called jackfruit. Have you ever had jackfruit?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Maybe I've heard of it. I don't know if
it's a very meaty fruit. Like it literally looks like meat. It's quite weird. But yeah, like it's lovely. If you just boil it for like 10 minutes and then season it how you want to season it, chuck it in the oven for about I think 30 to 40 minutes, and then. But obviously, you probably want your actual meat.
I'm intrigued by this, and I'm intrigued to that. I think this is something that would go down well with my family more so than the yams. Philip, thoughts?
I'm actually all aboard it. Try some jackfruit and see how that goes with the family.
There you go.
All right, so we have David's dish. Now you two gentlemen have to come together and come up with a dish for me. Yeah,
this is extremely challenging because Philip is incredibly picky.
Well, I don't necessarily have to eat it. I just have to make it for everybody else to eat.
I think you should have to eat it.
Yeah, at least try a little bit.
No.
Yes.
I will tell you
Christmas,
right now.
Philip.
I will tell you right now, if it incorporates any form, version, or order of mustard, you can forget that notion right the hell now.
Okay, well, we won't do mustard, but I do think you should have to eat at least try what you're going to make.
So I will deeply consider it, depending on what you guys pick.
Are we trying to suggest something that you wouldn't normally make or wouldn't normally have?
You can honestly make whatever. You can make it whatever, because I assure you, whatever you pick, I will not have made. I'm nowhere near the cook, chef, baker that David is. So, and again, even mashed potatoes will be something of a challenge for me.
Well, I was thinking, I don't know exactly what is in your sort of traditional meal, but I've never heard of the whole mac and cheese thing.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So I'm wondering, do you have Yorkshire puddings at Christmas as well?
That is very challenging. Probably
we do not have I think
they are. Need to make it is pudding.
Best. One year we had tapioca.
That's something else.
Yeah.
Yorkshire pudding it's not what you would imagine as pudding at all. It's kind of like a pastry.
Is it like a figgy pudding
thing? No, it's not pudding.
It's not pudding.
Oh.
It's just pastry. It's basically just pastry,
yeah,
right?
Pretty much.
Just pastry.
It's just in the shape of like a bowl.
Yeah.
So it holds like all the gravy. Or you can just fill it.
You fill it with...
You can put whatever you want in it.
Oh, so it's like
turkey bits or whatever.
It's like a pastry cup. It's like a pastry little cup. No, you put it on the side of your roast dinner or whatever. So it's like a little pastry cup. And you generally fill it with gravy, and it's just part of the... of the meal. It is one of the greatest things in the world.
Yeah, that's actually one of the annoying things.
Do you like gravy, Philip? Do you like?
Yeah, you like gravy, right?
I can't say I do, gentlemen. But
you don't like gravy?
Can you believe that? No,
I can't.
Maybe I can find a nice soup that I would put in there.
I just love
you
gravy.
Hurt
so
me,
much.
Philip, so much. I mean, you could put soup in there. If it would have to be
some
thick
egg
soup.
drop, delicious,
like almost a gravy.
Soup.
Yeah, basically.
I think that is a good one for you, although that is probably quite challenging. I do think you're going to get it wrong.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I mean, pastry challenging?
Don't you need a certain type of like dish to make them?
Maybe. Yeah. I guess to get the shape right, then you might need to add.
But if you have like a cupcake
oven
tin thing, do you have that in your home, Philip?
I think I do. I think we as a collective family do.
I like the idea that this might actually be quite challenging for you, Philip.
What else? I'm all happy for it too. Yeah.
You know what else? You might actually get to wear that apron I got you last year.
There we go. I can go to my my father's
to fill
room
you in, Leon, and to fill
right.
in the listeners who probably maybe didn't listen to the episode during last year's 4 weeks of Christmas. Philip received as a gift for Christmas, part of a gift. It was 1/3 of the gift was an apron with a dragon on it. It was very fiery and sexy, and he's never used it. So
sensual.
I hope you can use that and make your family some Yorkshire puddings.
Yorkshire pudding. All right. So my dish is a Yorkshire pudding. Your dish, David, one more time.
Is a jackfruit.
Are we going for the jackfruit or the?
Well, I don't know, Philip. I guess it should come down to you, really.
You know what? I would hate to infringe upon your sister or your mother's holiday toes. So let's go with the jackfruit option, as I'd imagine that pairs well. It won't step on anybody's other dishes. So I'm sure.
Tell you what, if I can't find jackfruit, I will make the yams.
Oh, it's easy.
All right.
Yeah, you'll be able to find jackfruit. Hopefully.
Okay, cool. I'm excited.
I'll get you some jackfruit.
I'll be in the Netherlands, by the way.
It's just in a tin. You can get like tin jackfruit.
Okay.
This episode of POWWOW Podcast is sponsored by Sides.
Meet Sides, SIDES, an app that helps you take the law into your own hands.
Turn ordinary agreements into binding contracts in seconds. Then if a dispute arises, Sides will step in to resolve it for you.
Wait, Phil, that was supposed to be my line.
What did we agree to in the contract?
I don't know. I guess we can use Sides to settle this dispute, because each dispute costs a small one-time fee.
And if you win, which I will, it's all awarded back to you.
Sign up now and get 16% off for a limited time only.
May I help you? You talking to me?
I need to talk to you.
A little word of advice.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome then.
One of our favorite segments. David, you're welcome. Why don't you start us off first?
I will start us out. Leon, you're going to enjoy this one. This is just to fill you in. This is sort of unsolicited advice. No one asked for it, but we're going to give it anyway. This goes out to the entire of the UK. I know it doesn't snow all the time, but it does snow at least every other year. Get f***ing prepared for it. This is ridiculous. There's like 3 inches of snow outside, and the entire of this part of the UK collapsed yesterday, and literally people couldn't get home. There were car crashes everywhere. Literally the entire place just collapsed. Couldn't handle 3 inches of snow. So get your together and handle the snow. It's not like it never happens. It snows every couple years at least. Like usually get a slight snowfall every year. Yeah. Just prepare yourselves.
No.
You're welcome.
No, it's part of the charm.
You're welcome.
My version of this, guys, here's a holiday you're welcome for you. If ever, should ever, whenever, you find yourself at a white elephant Christmas party, which I should step aside here. Leon, are you familiar with what a white elephant Christmas party is?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Have you ever heard of Nasty Christmas?
No.
Or what's it? Oh, Yankee Swap.
No.
Oh.
I've never even heard of these, but yeah. So Leon,
there's just other names for white elephant.
I figured, but okay. So Leon, the idea of a white elephant party is it's a holiday party, but at the base of the party, at some point, everybody brings a gift that works for anybody and everybody, and you can have good gifts, bad gifts, whatever it is. But you usually have a range. I'd imagine in Europe it'd be 20 pounds or 20 euros, somewhere around there. Everybody sets a limit, and that's what the amount a gift should be. And then you go in order, you pick out a gift, and you have that gift. If anybody comes in after you, they can steal a gift that was previously taken earlier. And if it's stolen 3 times,
you have to have heard of this.
I think that rings a bell. The whole stealing aspect.
So yes, the stealing of the gifts, and then everybody gets a gift. Everybody put in $20 towards it, or 20 euros, or 20 pounds, whatever it is, and it's just a fun thing.
There's usually something that everyone wants.
I think I've seen it on a TV show actually before.
It was in The Office.
I think
the
it
U.S.
Office. in season 2
That
or
might
something.
be. That might be it.
Yeah.
There we go. So, if you ever find yourself in a party with this format and you don't know what to bring, here's a hint. Don't just go to the store and buy a princess set. Don't just go to the store and buy a spice set. Don't just go to the store and buy something that's on sale. No, no, no. I challenge you to think smarter, not harder, and go to whatever gas station you have and just buy some scratchers. Buy 20 scratchers, because I assure you, grown-ass adults will find that far more enviable than any version of a spice rack that everybody should already have at their home, or those who don't care enough. Because those scratchers were stolen time and time and time again at the last party that I went to, and they were a massive hit. And people will go goo goo gaga over what it probably amounts to $8 of scratchers, far more than they will for a used spatula and toilet paper combo. You're welcome.
Well, it's now time for the game, and Leon's still with us, so we're gonna play a little Christmas game. Leon, first before we do that, we're gonna get to know you a little bit.
All right.
I know you so super well by this point, but Philip doesn't, and the audience certainly doesn't. So we're gonna ask you a couple questions. Philip's got 2, I've got 1. Mine's quite personal.
All right.
Ooh. All right. Well, Leon.
We'll let Philip go first.
Yes, Leon, I get 2, so I'm going to start with my first one here. What food, if presented in a holiday feast, would completely ruin your appetite, making all the rest of the food just inedible? Maybe it's because of the smells wafting. Maybe it's just how it looks. What food would just say, you know what, guys? You knew what you were doing. Somebody here decided to poison me on this holiday eve. Have a good day, ma'ams and madams.
You know what? That is actually a really tough one. I genuinely love pretty much
You're a
all
foodie.
food. Obviously,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. But what I can say in terms, the only thing I can really think of that really like puts me off. Nothing can really put me off of food, but what I absolutely hate is walking by those fish markets, and it just absolutely stinks of fish. I just find that absolutely gross. When I used to eat meat and stuff, I loved fish, but yeah, just the raw fish and the smell of fish. I don't like it.
That's
that would
quite something.
That would probably be the strongest reaction I could have against food.
All right, David, your question.
If you had to, what kind of Christmas-related role play would you want to try in the bedroom?
I see. Never given
Now,
this any thought.
I don't think you have given this any thought. I'm asking you to now, though.
Yeah.
If you had to, what? Okay, I guess I should frame the question. What is the least repulsive idea?
You know what? The thing that pops in my head that could possibly be a little fun is maybe a little reindeer role play. Like I could be a reindeer, and my partner would be there cheering me on to fly. I guess you'd have to be Santa Claus in that scenario.
Don't tell her
This went in a direction that I wasn't ready for.
Just sort of a type situation.
Add a little riding crop in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Leon.
I can't think of anything else. What else are we gonna do? Play with carrots and
I don't know. It could be well, no, I don't know about a snowman. I don't know that has any sex. It could have been Santa and an elf, or it could have been
no, I'm down for the reindeer.
Okay. Philip, your last question.
Leon, I want to take you back to a time when you and your girlfriend first were getting to know each other a bit more, and you were meeting her side of the family. They invite you back home for a home-cooked meal, and you go there, you eat an appetizer that does not go well with your vegan intestines, insides, and so you excuse yourself from the table, leaving your phone on the table, and you go upstairs, and you find that there is no toilet paper. What do you do? How do you solve this?
So I'm in a toilet. I'm guessing it has a sink there. I would have to use that as like a little DIY bidet, I guess. Or
That's
the
fine.
second option would be to just put all my clothes back on, go somewhere, find some toilet paper, and go back to the toilet. But that would make it clear. That could make it clear to a few people that I've done a poo, and I probably didn't want to let them know that. So, yeah, the sink beat.
Never forget the trap answer is use other people's hand towels or whatever it is. That is not acceptable. And
Absolutely
no matter
not.
what you do, that is just horrendous.
No, that is absolutely horrific. All right, let's play a game and move past all this.
Speaking of number twos, I brought forth a game.
Oh, that was good.
You like that, David? You like that
great
intro?
segue.
Thank you.
Great segue.
I have brought forth a game that both me and David will be hosting. Leon, you'll be playing in both ones against both me and David. And it's a game centered around the idea of number twos. So whoever or whatever list or item we bring forth to you, it will be number one within that category. The key, though, afterwards will be to find out which or what is the number two thing in that list or category. So, Leon, who would you care to face off against first, myself or David?
Before that, would I get like an example of what that would be?
Yeah. So if we were to go along the lines of, I don't know, we took a survey and the number one holiday food eaten across all of the globe is ham. What is number two? And for myself,
Okay.
I don't know how David's version works, but I would be giving you four options upon which both of you would guess. Sound good, Leon?
Right. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So, Leon, who would you care to go up against first?
Let's go, David.
David, that means
Bring
my
it on,
game
Philip.
first. Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, I've explained the game. Let's get right to it. You may be surprised to hear Pirates of the Caribbean 4 on Stranger Tides is the most expensive movie ever made, with production costs going in the range of an estimated $410 million for their budget. But which film comes in with the second highest cost to have ever been made? Is it A, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, or D, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End? So A, B, and C are all Avengers, just different ones, and then D, Pirates of the Caribbean. And those are lettered alphabetically. All of my options from here on out are lettered alphabetically as to not give anything away. Leon, we will go to you first.
That's tough.
Age of Ultron, Endgame, Infinity War, or Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End?
Oh, I'm going to go with Infinity War.
Infinity War is his guess. David, you sticking with Leon?
No, I'm gonna go with Endgame.
Endgame.
I just okay. First of all, the at World's End, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, came out several years before on Stranger Tides, and it doesn't make sense to me that would be even close to that amount for a movie at that time. So they put more dollars into big movies after that point, and I think Endgame, it just makes sense for that to be an extremely expensive movie.
I think he's got this one.
I will say that for all of my answers and every question, I have taken the following four answers. So these are all generally close at around $300 million for Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, $325 million for Avengers Infinity War. Sorry, Leon.
No.
And $356 million for Avengers Endgame. Avengers Age of Ultron actually is number two here at $365 million projected budget. The one caveat in here that may or may not age well.
Why?
I don't know. Oh, it's because the multiple locations. Endgame was
maybe the different locations. Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
They go to Africa. They go to
correct. The one caveat here, gentlemen, is that Avatar 2, The Way of Water, has yet to be released, so the final numbers for that, but it is projected to be somewhere in the $350 to $400 million, but it's not out yet, so it doesn't count. All right, next one with no points on the board. Next one. According to Rotten Tomatoes Critics Meter, or Tomato Meter, I should say, Meet Me in St. Louis is the number one Christmas/holiday film of all time with a perfect 100% rating. What movie is number two on this list as far as the critics are concerned? Is that Miracle on 34th Street, the original one released in 1947? Is it The Nightmare Before Christmas? Is it The Shop Around the Corner or Tangerine? Is it Miracle on 34th Street, Nightmare Before Christmas, The Shop Around the Corner, or Tangerine? David, which is your selection?
I'm going to go with The Shop Around the Corner.
The Shop Around the Corner, option C for David. Leon, do you follow suit or are you going your own way?
I don't actually know those last two movies. I'm going to go with Miracle on 34th Street.
He's going with the original Miracle on 34th Street and The Nightmare Before Christmas, which some would argue is more of a Halloween film than Christmas, is not. You both were correct to avoid that, as well as Tangerine, famous for being amongst the first major motion picture films that was completely filmed on the iPhone. However, The Shop Around the Corner at 99% does rank number 2, meaning David, you do have a point, and you were the first one
I
on the
almost
board.
don't want to accept that point because I saw this list as I was preparing my own game.
Oh,
Yeah.
we will have some contention.
And one of my
on
questions is going to have to. I'm going to have to come up with another question for my game because yeah.
Ooh, there we go. All right, so we will have some contention on that one, Leon. Keep in mind on that.
What's the score? I don't even. What is the score?
The score is 1-0 in
Just
favor
1-0,
of David.
yeah.
Yeah, David, we're gonna have you
Okay,
answer
well,
first since you do have a
if I
lead.
can stack up a lead, then I won't feel too bad about it. Go on.
I found a list of common mistakes most made when presenting Santa Claus his traditional milk and cookies. Number 1, of course, using store-bought cookies. The argument is, does Santa buy your presents
How
from the
dare
store? No, he and his elves slave over every toy to whittle them out of wood. So spend a few hours to make the man some cookies for all he does. But according to this list, what is the second most common mistake? Again, in alphabetical order, is it A, forgetting the reindeer? Santa is nothing without his trusty steeds. Throw those reindeer a bone, and by bone we mean a bunch of carrots, organic, with their tops. Is it B, not leaving a note? Yes, Santa is all-knowing and all-seeing, but that doesn't mean he wouldn't appreciate a little note from you all the same. This is an ideal time to thank him for his hard work and reiterate exactly how good you have been all year. Is it C, pouring skim milk? Get out of here with your blue-tinted dairy water. Nothing satisfies like a glass of rich and creamy whole milk, and you'd better believe Santa knows the difference. Besides, he'll never acquire a proper milk moustache with the fat-free stuff. Thinking about an alt milk, like oat or almond? Stop. Or is it D, swapping milk for beer? Don't listen to your dad. Santa does not want a beer. Santa is driving a sleigh all night, and it would be irresponsible of him to imbibe. Tell your dad to get his own lager. So, gentlemen, one more time with David going first. Which is the second most common mistake? Forgetting the reindeer, not leaving a note, pouring skim milk, or swapping milk for beer?
Me first?
Yes, you first, David.
I'm going to go with forgetting the reindeer. I feel like that makes the most sense.
All right, Leon, we go to you.
That does make the most sense, although who forgets the reindeer? I feel like I feel like it's quite. I don't really hear a lot about people leaving a note. I don't know if that's something you're meant to do. I'm gonna go with leaving a note.
You both decided to decline swapping milk for a beer, knowing that Santa does probably enjoy a lager. We just can't tell the kids that. Not leaving a note is unfortunately not the answer here. Neither is forgetting the reindeer. Guys, is it worse to forget altogether, or is it worse to make a mistake by pouring him skim milk instead of whole milk? A lot of people will insult the man giving you all these presents, making it the number 2 most common mistake made. So no points given there. David still holds a 1-0 lead. David will still go to you first. In a survey of 100 people, when asked the question, name one of Santa's reindeer, 32 of them said Rudolph. Who was the second highest named reindeer of all? Was it Blitzen, Comet, Cupid, or Dasher? Blitzen, Comet, Cupid, or Dasher, David? In alphabetical order, obviously.
Now, Dasher comes first in the song, but Cupid is named after an angel. I don't know. God, that's so hard. I'm gonna go with Cupid. Why not Cupid?
It's going with Cupid. Leon.
I was asked to try and name Santa's reindeer recently, and the first one that I could think of that wasn't Rudolph, and apparently that's not actually one of Santa's
Rudolph
reindeers.
is not one of the 8.
Yeah.
He's not one of
but,
the core 8.
I'm going to go with what I think I would say, and that would be Dasher.
You both avoided Blitzen, as did most people, as that is the last one. But guys, Comet with 14 answers or people saying him.
I literally say to all
two.
the kids that Comet's my favorite reindeer.
I was thinking of Comet because he's like the funny one in the Santa Claus movies.
Oh, I don't remember those, but
Yes, he's a very expressive reindeer.
I asked the kids who their favorite reindeer is, and most of them say Rudolph, and I'm like, oh, everyone loves Rudolph. For me, it's Comet. I don't know why. I was just thinking he's got the coolest, or she's got the coolest name.
All right, David, we're going to our last question, meaning that Leon, if you have any chance of tying this and going to a tiebreaker, you need to pick something different than David here. So, David, you're going to go first. In the same survey of 100 people, they were asked, name a state someone might travel to for Christmas vacation. What was the second highest answer behind Hawaii, upon which 35 people answered? Was it A, Alaska, B, Colorado, C, Florida, or D, New York? Alaska, Colorado, Florida, or New York?
Colorado.
All right, David has picked Colorado. Leon.
Said that with confidence. I feel like he knows this one.
I just think skiing.
I'm going to go with... Wait, can I get the answers again? Real quick.
Alaska, Colorado, Florida, or New York?
I'm going to go with New York.
Surprisingly, Alaska was on this list, and it is one of the next top 4. I don't know who the hell wants to go there. If you want to go see the Northern Lights, don't. But during Christmas, when it's coldest,
that's when you see the Northern Lights. You have to go when it's dark.
Oh, pish off. All right. Florida is also not on here. Thank goodness. I guess the alligators are just more rampant during the holidays. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
No
Let's
thanks.
see.
However, I'm excessively pleased to say it is indeed New York. Leon has tied this game up with a last-minute flurry with 23 people stating New York is their number one state to visit during Christmas time. I'm guessing they want to go see the tree. All right, let's go to our tiebreaker. Guys, Patrick Stewart plays one of the best Ebenezer Scrooges ever put to film, in my humble opinion. As such, in U.S. dollars, how much is Stewart's projected net worth? And just as a point of reference, Sir Ian McKellen, who is usually counterparted to Patrick Stewart, is worth $70 million U.S. dollars. Just as a point of reference.
We need to...
You need to guess how much is Patrick Stewart's projected net worth.
Oh, is this no multiple answers?
No, this is
no
closest
multiple
wins.
Closest wins.
Okay.
So this is our tiebreaker. So who goes first?
Leon
goes
forcing
first,
the tie does have to go first.
Oh, damn. All right. Oh, would he have more or less than more? I'm going to say more.
You got that Star Trek money.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even... Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. It was 70 million with...
70 million for Sir Ian McKellen.
I'm going to go with... $85 million.
It's going with 85 million. David.
I'm going to go with 86. I'm going to take the over.
Ooh. Well, neither one of you hit it on the nose, but one of you was closer, obviously.
I hope so.
Because it's at $85,001. No, I'm kidding. No, the answer is 75 million. Leon, you have stolen victory from the jaws of the Grinch.
It really is. It really is justice, because my only correct point was the question that I had seen already online. So
you know we hadn't
there you
thought
go.
about that.
I was worried I was going to look stupid on the air. So here we go.
No, you could never look stupid
unless you beat me, Leon. Then you would look like an imbecile.
It's a podcast. It's all about sounding stupid.
All right, David. It is your version of this game. Let's see if I can win it.
All right, we're going to fight through this game as much as possible. There are some things I've had to adjust and change, and oh dear. The first question was going to be top rank animated Christmas movies, according to Rotten Tomatoes. Animated, so it's not quite the same. However, the first one is Klaus, and the second one would be... Any guesses?
Klaus.
This doesn't count for points.
Okay.
Would it be The Nightmare Before Christmas?
That's what I was thinking.
Would indeed be The Nightmare Before Christmas, yes.
But isn't that stop motion?
Well, it would fall in the Oscars. It would fall into the animated movie category. So
That's funny because it's not technically at all animated. It's real.
They pretty much put
It's
anything
real.
that's not.
The documentary,
physical.
The Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, so first question: top Christmas songs of all time according to Smooth Radio. The first, actually surprised me, is "Last Christmas" by Wham.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this
You
is
do
good.
not
I
get
was just
multiple choice options here.
Oh no.
I would like to know what is the second. And we'll go to you first, Leon.
Do we have to say the artist? Because I don't even think I know the artist of most of the songs.
No, I will take just the name as
All right. I'm going to go with Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Philip.
I mean, so it sounds like it's a subjective list because any list I had found, I was going to try and do this earlier. My research concluded something completely different, but it was mostly albums purchased, and it centered around Bing Crosby, actually, mostly because he's been around for so long. So I'd imagine if he didn't take it, I was going to. So I have to go. All I Want for Christmas Is You.
One of you is correct.
Yeah, he's correct.
And Philip is correct. Yes, this is a painfully so is Mariah Carey is somehow the greatest Christmas or the second greatest Christmas artist ever.
Right.
Yeah, no, she's All I Want for Christmas Is You. Mariah Carey is apparently, according to Smooth Radio, is the second best Christmas song of all time.
I do a lot better with the multiple choices.
Point Philip. Okay. Question 2. Top Christmas vacation destinations. The number 1, and this is according to travel.usnews.com. So the number 1 is Prague. During December, the capital of the Czech Republic turns into a winter wonderland you've got to see to believe. Twinkling lights blanket the city's medieval architecture, and its Christmas markets are some of the best in the world. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this time I am going to give you options because I don't know how you could possibly come up with ideas otherwise. I'll give them to you in alphabetical order. First, we have Aspen. So active travelers, relaxation seekers alike will love celebrating Christmas in Aspen. This Colorado mountain town is a haven for skiers thanks to its 76 runs and highly regarded après-ski scene. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, next up, alphabetically speaking, we have the Maldives. If your idea of the perfect Christmas getaway consists of sublime weather, luxurious accommodations, and gorgeous scenery, look no further than the Maldives. I'll leave it at that, okay? Then we have Rome. Rome's charming setting is even more stunning when decorated for the holidays. Admire the impressive Christmas trees in the Piazza Venezia, next to the Colosseum, and in Vatican City, St. Peter's Square, before checking out the world's oldest permanent nativity scene at the Patriarchal Basilica of St. Mary Major, blah, blah, blah. And finally, we have Salzburg, Austria. For a Christmas vacation steeped in tradition, spend your holiday in Salzburg, Austria. Every December, locals don horned masks, pelts, and bells as they chase spectators through the old town, much like the folk creature Krampus is said to have done to scare naughty children. Yay! Okay, so once again, we have Aspen, we have the Maldives, we have Rome, and we have Salzburg. Philip, we go to you first.
As tempting as that last one is with no children around, I will go with the Maldives.
That was also what I was going to be going with.
You can still, or you don't have to. You can pick something else, or
No, I think I'm gonna go with that as well. Is it? I think I pronounced that Maldives.
yeah, I don't know. I honestly I get so confused. Some people say Maldives, some people say Maldives. I've always
I like to
said
say
Maldives.
Maldives. Kind of like turtles, turtle doves.
Well, that's definitely wrong. Well, you're both wrong. So the second option was Rome. Rome, for some reason. I honestly would rather go to Aspen, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like that's so self-fulfilling right there. Rome. Yeah, when's the time Rome's not fun to
Who
visit?
wants to go to Rome? Come on.
Yeah, I know.
No,
it's like,
honestly,
you want to go to
so
Hawaii?
next up was Aspen, then the Maldives, and then Salzburg.
Yeah.
So those are the top 5. And honestly, I think I would choose Aspen of all these places. Although Prague does sound very delicious. Next question. Top activities for Christmas in New York City. All right.
Ah.
So the number one is the Bryant Park Winter Village. We have the Christmas Lights Tour, a walking tour in Hell's Kitchen. Everyone obviously apparently the electricity bills skyrocket during the holiday season because of all people trying to put up insane Christmas lights. Okay, so there's that. Then we have the Christmas shows in New York City. It's fairly self-explanatory. We have the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, and finally the Visit Diker Heights in Brooklyn. So this I'll just describe for a second. I'm a huge fan of the Diker Heights in Brooklyn, where you can find the most beautifully decorated homes in the city. It is actually so popular that it's known as one of the best things to do in New York City for Christmas time. So those are your options. So we have Christmas Lights Tour, a walking tour. We have Christmas shows. We have the Diker Heights, and we have the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. What is the second on the list?
Say that again real quick.
Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, Diker Heights, whatever that is, the walking tour for Christmas lights, and we have Christmas shows.
I'm going to have to go with the Rockefeller Christmas tree, simply because it's the only other one that I automatically know. I'm not saying that any of the others are bad. Maybe even the Christmas shows, perhaps with like Elf, but it doesn't ring true to me that it would be anything but. And
They're
the first one
probably
even
mostly going to be like
skating.
Christmas concerts and cabaret things, and
Yeah, so I'm
that
thinking
kind
that
of
it
stuff.
has to be the tree, or if it's not, it's just somebody's ranking of it. But it has to be the tree.
I am going to go for, just to be different, the lights.
Gonna go for the walking tour of Christmas
I'm gonna go
lights.
for the walking tour of the
Ooh,
lights.
Well-
here we go. Contention.
You'd have been wrong to go with the Diker Heights, whatever the hell that was. You'd have been wrong to go with the Christmas shows. Who wants to go see those?
Nice.
One of you's correct,
Good.
and it was the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree is correct.
Yeah.
Philip, you got it right, which means you have a 2-0 lead with two
That I do.
questions left
So
here.
I can hope for a tie.
Christmas events in London. Okay.
This is going to be embarrassing.
Ooh.
Yeah, I figured Philip
This
would have
will.
the advantage for New York, and you should have the advantage here. The top Christmas event in London is the Holiday Spectacular at Common Decency. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
So this is top Christmas events in London for 2022. So the Holiday Spectacular at Common Decency Nomad, arguably the chicest Christmas cocktails in London right now, are being served at Common Decency.
Cocktails. Everyone loves a cocktail.
So we have the Connaught Village festive shopping evening. So the quaint shopping area next to Hyde Park is undergoing a Christmassy makeover right now, ready for the very festive evening on Thursday, the 17th of November, blah, 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 blah. Next, we have the Covent Gardens Winter Warmer Mulled Wine Festival.
Ooh.
Very exciting. Fairly self-explanatory. Then we have Henrietta's Hotel's 1970s inspired Miracle Bar. And finally,
That's fine.
Pump Street Chocolate in Shoreditch. So award-winning bakers and chocolate makers, Pump Street Chocolate will host a festive candy shop in Shoreditch this December. So we have our chocolate thingy. We have the going backwards here, the hotel 1970s inspired Miracle Bar, the shopping evening, and of course the mulled wine festival. And we'll go to you first, Philip, because Leon's got to catch up.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with the pump chocolate. Nothing gets me going quite like chocolate. And while the rest are boozy, I can't imagine that it wouldn't be up to people to go and get some chocolate. So the pump chocolate thingy at the end.
Well, I mean, us Londoners like to get quite boozy.
It's true.
I
mean, there is booziness in a lot of these, though. So you've got the
yeah,
hold on. So
the bars and the mulled
yeah,
wine
so there's the
festival.
mulled wine festival. There's the chocolate. Obviously, that's got not so boozy.
Which one was Covent Garden and which one was
that
Hyde
was the
Park?
mulled wine festival. Covent Garden was the mulled wine
And
festival.
Hyde Park is the shopping. Is that right?
Yes, that's a shopping evening. And then there's the Henrietta's Hotel 1970 inspired Miracle Bar. And it says here, this kitsch festive pop-up is reopening for its 5th year. Also at Covent Gardens, Henrietta Hotel hidden on the hotel's mezzanine floor. The bar is styled as a nostalgic blah, 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 blah. Festive themed cocktails. So it's cocktails there. It's mulled wine at Covent Garden's Winter Warmer Mulled Wine Festival. We have chocolate, and then we have the shopping evening.
It, for me, is a tie between the shopping evening and the mulled wine.
Mm.
I mean, it's Christmas. Everyone's meant to be buying stuff for people. All right, I'm going to go with the mulled wine festival.
Mulled Wine Festival. Philip, what did you go with again?
The chocolate.
The chocolate. I mean, all good things to do in London, no doubt. Leon, you were right to go with alcohol, but you should have gone for Henrietta's 1970s themed Christmassy cocktails.
Henrietta.
It's a hotel in Covent Garden that has a Christmassy cocktail bar. I don't know what to tell you, but that's the correct answer, which means, unfortunately, Leon, you cannot win.
All right.
However, you can save face by getting at least a point in this game. And tell us, what is the second best Christmas market in Europe? The first one is in Cologne, Germany, or Köln, if you want to be German about it. What is the second best? Is it Berlin? Is it Budapest, Hungary? Is it Prague, Czech Republic? Or is it Salzburg, Austria? Prague and Salzburg featuring once again on my quiz. So, Philip, we'll go with you first. Why not?
I don't think he's got any sound.
No, he's just thinking. That's his thinking face.
Oh, okay.
We can't hear you, Philip.
Yeah,
I
we
think
can't hear you.
muted yourself.
Astute catch, gentlemen. I will be going with Prague. I think it would truly shock me if it was that the middle option, the second option. But Prague sounds wintry enough.
We had Berlin, Budapest, Prague, and Salzburg.
Budapest. Yeah,
so you're choosing.
Budapest just doesn't scream Christmas to me, but I could be wrong.
I mean, these are the top 5.
Yeah.
So, thoughts,
Leon?
Well, I'm going to lose either way.
You are.
So I'm going to go for a different answer just so I can hopefully
save face.
Yeah, he might get it wrong. And so I'm going to say Berlin.
You were more correct.
Ooh.
But you were still wrong. The top one was Salzburg. Berlin came in at 3, Budapest at 4, and Prague at 5. There you go. So the score finishes 2-1. 2-1?
No, 2-0.
2-0. Oh dear. 2-0. And thank you for coming on, Leon.
Thanks for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Well, we're not quite done yet, but the game is finished and we move on.
That Slaps is here, and
That
Leon,
Slaps is here.
That is true. Leon, this is the part of the show that me and David both really look forward to and really enjoy, because it is the part of the show that each and every week we bring forth a piece of entertainment, if you will, that we just really enjoyed and found and discovered that week, that we think everybody else in the world should give it a listen, give it a watch, give it a read, give it a play.
Everybody else in the world.
Yes, every single person, even in Prague and in Hungary and everywhere else. Leon, think about something that you maybe saw this week that you feel like everybody should, or maybe even heard, if you heard a new sound
song.
Or
It could be a song. It could be a movie. It could be a season of a TV
book.
show.
Yes.
It could be a book. A book could slap. This segment is called That Slaps, by the way.
Yes, we've even had a video game before. So keep
we
that
once
in mind,
had a video
Leon.
game, although we didn't really like that.
No, we did not. We did not. All right, David, what is your rendition or addition this week to That Slaps?
This week, God, this is a tough one. You know, my mind is overloaded with Christmas music. However, I have been watching season 3 of The Orville, which is Seth MacFarlane's spoof.
Yes.
Seth MacFarlane decided to make a spoof of Star Trek and then accidentally made a really good show, and it's working for him. And it's a really good show, and I'm enjoying it. It's sci-fi. It's fun. It has its funny moments. It is, of course, Seth MacFarlane, so it's good. Good. Season 3 of The Orville. Seasons 1 and 2 are great too. Season 3 of The Orville, that slaps. Philip, give us a slap
I think for me, this week I saw a movie that I don't think David Hoffman's going to see, even though I would actually recommend it to him. But he might. He might.
I'll
It's a
watch
movie
it,
that
maybe.
well, maybe. It's a movie that stars Mark Rylance and one Timothy Chalamet. It's called
Oh,
Bones and
dear.
All. I know. It's called Bones and All. I saw it, and for Mark Rylance's performance, if nothing else, you really should see this, Hoffman. But even beyond that, I thought it was just a really good film. I thought it was, even though it incorporated a lot of, I don't know what that would be considered, carnivorism. There's not a lot of vegan materials there. There's a lot of people eating in it, even though it has a lot of cannibalism in it. Yes, it doesn't fully use that as its only gimmick or something. It's woven into the story quite well, and I think you would enjoy it, David. Bones and All, that slaps. Now, Leon, did you happen to come up and think of anything while we left you alone there for a minute?
I have. It's probably quite boring when I think about it, but I haven't been able to really see anything. Or I mean, I've listened to some of your music and stuff on the.
We've been jamming
on the
between
train.
shows.
But you know what?
some
I'm going to do a
tunes.
little self promotion for the show. I actually think the
Ah.
Polar Express is
wow.
something to come down and have a little gander at.
We have our first theater that slaps.
Yeah.
So you're saying the
There we
Polar
go.
Express slaps?
I think it's awesome. Like, I absolutely want to. If I ever have children, I want to bring them to come and see one of
really
these
is
shows.
quite
I
fun,
think it's
yeah.
really, really cool. So yeah, that would be. I haven't technically seen it. I'm just in it. But yeah, that's what I'm going to have to go with. I've not had the chance to be seeing anything this week or reading anything or listening to anything other than the bloody Polar Express. I mean, it's getting
It's starting
very
to like
drilled in there.
great at
Yeah. But
yeah.
it slaps.
But it slaps. There you go.
Yeah, but it
Wonderful.
slaps. As we close another episode, we do have some things to get to before the absolute end of it. So, David, why don't you go first?
Yeah, thank you to Cass and Crossland and to Jake Corlang for the music that you hear on the show. We couldn't do it without you guys. And of course, thank you to my friend Leon for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you. Any last parting words before we say goodbye?
Be kind.
Be kind. There you go.
Be kind. Truly. Thank you so much, Leon. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, of course, as well to Terry Iamstutz, Josh Hans, and Ryan Ardell for their wonderful contributions to the show, guys. It would not be possible without you, but it wouldn't also be possible without you, the listener. Yes, you listening right now. We thank you so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe and keep tuned in what we do when new episodes drop each and every week. But of course, we have a bunch of episodes backlogged into that old library back there, wherever you may find this podcast and all of your other favorite podcasts. Whether that be Spotify, whether that be Apple Podcasts, even Google Podcasts, pretty much everywhere except for Pandora. Why? Because screw you, Pandora.
Could someone pass the potatoes? Oh, yeah, thanks. And Mr. Bear, what could I get you? The gravy.